Hey, welcome to Outdoor Quest TV. I'm TJ Schwanke. On today's episode, you are going to see one of the longest deer hunts we've ever been on. I think it's about day 22 right now of hunting deer. But as you can see, we were successful. But we want to take you back to earlier in the season when we had several attempts at several deer and it just never seemed to work out, or they weren't what we were looking for. And then we're going to bring you back to the hunt for this guy. The Alberta government legalized 22 caliber centerfires for big game this year. And, being a ballistic and bullet nerd, that's something I really wanted to take advantage of. Now, I've hunted big game in other jurisdictions with 22 cals where it's legal, but I wanted to do it at home for the experience and also for the additional challenge. Now, this isn't some kind of experiment or stunt. I'd guess that millions of deer have been taken worldwide with 22 caliber centerfires during the past couple decades. But to do it at home is just an experience I wanted. Now, I already had a Tikka T3 varmint in 223 rim, and that's what I'm going to be using. And on top of that, I've got that 6-24 by 50 Zeiss V4. And it's got an exposed turret on it, which I use when I'm coyote hunting. But for deer, I was going to limit my shots to around 200 yards. Now, since I've got a 200 yard zero on this rifle, I'm not going to need it on this hunt. Now, I did a lot of experimenting with bullets and finally settled on these 55 grain powerhead blade bullets. And they're a monometal. And I wanted something that was going to be tough and retain weight, and that's what monometals do. So I'm assured of plenty of penetration. If I was going to use a cup and core, I would have had to go to a much heavier bullet to get that same kind of penetration. The other thing is they shoot awesome out of this rifle. Now, the one thing I didn't realize was how much of an extra challenge it was going to be hunting the wide open spaces that we do with the 223. It took so long to get light this morning, it was unreal. Vanessa said it's 2 minutes past legal light, and I'm like, I couldn't see anything. But there's about 14 or 15 deer below us here, and there's quite a few bucks in it, and there's one that definitely a shooter. I'm trying to take a buck with a 223 this year, so I've got a self-imposed limit of 200 yards. So right now he's .421. Vanessa's looking at me like, "What's your problem? I could take him easy." They're kind of, I don't know which way they're going to go. They're kind of working this way, but they're kind of going that way too, so. They're really running around though. There's like 5 or 6 bucks out there. Yeah, he's a good one for sure. We saw a buck on a neighbor's place about 2 weeks ago. Just got a glimpse of him that looked really good, and I think this is him. So the problem is, for them to be 200 yards, they got to be right at the base of this hill, and I can't see anything right there. But he's moving now. Yeah, he's coming in. I'm gonna try and crawl up there and see what I can do. The hunt is about the journey.
And that journey has taken us across 6 continents.
Welcome to season 27 of Outdoor Quest TV. Outdoor Quest TV is brought to you by Sacco Antica Firearms, demand perfection. Zeiss, we make it visible. Loa Boots, simply more. Silver Willow Taxidermy, see the difference. Closed captioning provided by Deluxe Wall Tents, made in Canada for Canadian conditions. $185.
Frustrating. We watched that deer. It was legal light for, we couldn't even see for probably the first 10 or 15 minutes, and then finally he was on him, we got a good look at him, and he was a good buck, but came right in, but just kind of the way the slope was, we had to sneak in, so crawled over here and kind of sat up, and he was gone like a rocket. Every other doe is still standing right down there. They don't care less. He just got one little glimpse of us and was gone.
It was kind of weird. Like, some deer went straight east, which, well, we couldn't have got on them regardless, but we can't hunt over there. Some went to the north and we can't hunt over there. And then some were kind of coming up this way. And those are the ones we were kind of counting on. And I don't know, I just didn't know which way he was going to go and whether he would have followed these does below us or not. I don't know. But we screwed it up. I've never seen that happen in my life. You know, there was 15 deer below us and one of them ran. And he ran like a scalded cat. And of course it was the one we were after. But all the other ones just stood there kind of looking at him going, what's your problem? But I guess that's how those big old bucks get big and old. But yeah, these ones are still, they could care less about us right now. So we're still kind of a little bit early. There's probably a few does just coming into heat right now. So I think those bucks are looking hard. And, you know, we watched them chasing like crazy down there and there was none showing too much interest. So there probably wasn't much hot, but, you know, usually when you sneak in on a group of deer like that, those bucks are so preoccupied. If you don't spook the does, you're laughing. Unfortunately, the buck was laughing this time. Yeah, they're just, they couldn't care less. It's funny, all the does kind of came this way. Some of the bucks went north, including the big one, and then we watched 3 bucks go east. So we just got to keep an eye on them. We saw about 20 does out here this morning just on these 2 fields. So there's definitely lots of does here. And we've got does on the other side of the property as well with a couple decent bucks, but nothing big yet. But this is definitely the only shooter we've seen this year. So we'll see if we can get him again.
Now, as the season wore on, I began to really appreciate what a challenge hunting with the 223 was in this wide open country that we hunt. One morning, my buddy Rick and I came across a really good buck that I could have easily taken with any other caliber, but I had to pass it up because I was packing the 223 and there just wasn't a suitable shot. Well, that buck eluded us again. It was funny. We spotted a couple of elk out here this morning, so I brought Vanessa's 7 with me today because Vanessa's not along. Actually, my buddy Rick's here. He's running camera right now, so we brought the 7 out just in case we were going to shoot elk, and then the elk weren't legal, but got out here and spotted this one buck we've been kind of chasing that I really want to shoot with the 223. So walked all the way back to the truck and came all the way back out here and got within 200 yards of him, but just too much cover to shoot through, and he was locked on us, so we tried to do a bit of a loop around and got to where he was, and he was gone, of course. But I think we could have had him pretty easy with the 7. We were only 527 yards to start with, and we could have easily got 200 or 300 yards on him. But I really want to shoot a deer with the 223 this year, and he got lucky today. Outdoor Quest TV is brought to you by Yukon Magnum Bear Spray, for when your life depends on it. Safari Club International Canada, first for hunters. Alberta Outdoors Magazine. Saco Cartridges, outstanding accuracy and performance. Now, over the next couple weeks, Vanessa and I came across numerous other bucks. In fact, it was some of the hottest rutting action I think we've ever seen on this property. But they either weren't mature enough or they didn't offer an opportunity with the 223. And I was really starting to wonder if I was actually going to make it happen. So I think we're at, I don't know what we're at here, about day 21 or 22 of hunting deer. And we're doing almost a little bit of an urban hunt today. Not really, we're out on a big ranch here, but we're right in the yard. There's been quite a few does just feeding in one of the feedlots over here where the cattle usually are. There's no cattle there now, but it's like the only big bucks we've seen the whole season have been like right here in the yard. So we've got 4 or 5 does out there right now, and we did see a buck a little bit earlier, so we're just gonna sneak down here and see if he comes out. So let's get going while we still got before they head out, because once they cross that fence, we're done. There's the buck. $270 yards. I want to get a little bit closer. $230, they're starting to get a little nervous. I'm just gonna get up a little bit, see if I can get a shot. Okay, I'm gonna shoot. The doe's right in front of him. Oh crap, they're running. They're running. Oh man.
I think he just went down.
Holy, can't believe that. He was 204 yards. And I was right on him. I was just ready to squeeze, and the doe walked like right in front of him. And then they started to run after that. I figured the jig was up, and then he stopped. I don't know, I didn't range him, but I'm guessing they were like 250, and I'd kind of put a self-imposed limit of 200 yards with the 223 here, but I figured I was dead solid, and I had a nice quartering shot on him, so I took it, and it looks like he's hit hard. And then I watched all the does, like he went down in that dip there, and then all the does came running out the other side, and he never came out with them, so I imagine he's down. It's been a long season. I think it's day 22 hunting whitetails, and day 29 hunting elk. Season started a week earlier, so it's been a long season, but kind of my goal going into the season was to get a buck with the 223, and hope we did it. I'm pretty sure we did, but cool thing is we can use tracking dogs this year in Alberta, so we're going to go get our pup Willow. We've been working a little bit with her on tracking, and this will be her first actual one that she's tracked to completion, so we'll see what happens. I don't think we need her for it, but it's a good chance to do a little bit of training with her. So let's get back to the truck and see what we can do. So this is Willow, and she's actually our cattle dog out here. She works cattle and herds, but we've been trying to do a little bit of blood tracking with her, and she's a little excited this morning. So you got to go find the blood, okay? Okay, come here. You. Okay, let's go. Come on, let's go find the blood. Come on, let's go. Good girl. Good girl. Yeah, good girl. Where'd you go? Good girl. Good girl. You on the trail? Good girl. So she's still pretty new and green at this, but we're just kind of letting her work the trail out here a little bit. Come on, find the trail. So she's just going on scent right now, and there was 5 deer there, so she's just, that's why she's working a little bit and catching scent everywhere, but she definitely knows what she's doing. She's down right there, but we'll let her find him. Good girl, find him. Find him. Good girl. She's doing pretty amazing. This is her first time, and she's right on the trail. Find him. Find him. Find him. Good girl. Good girl. Yeah, good girl. Such a smart girl. Yes. Good girl. Good girl. Yeah, nice buck. 5x5. He's definitely an older deer. We'll get you a little better look at him, but just let her worry the carcass a little bit. That's her reward. Good girl. Good girl. It's pretty amazing. She followed that trail. She never got off it, so. We fought long and hard to get to be able to use dogs in Alberta for packing in the mountains and blood trailing, and they're definitely an asset. Good girl. Well, here he is, and just a typical foothills buck for us. You know, nice old mature deer. Not going to score a ton, and very few of our deer do here. And, you know, you can see they're smaller bodied here, and they're smaller antlered, and not making excuses at all for shooting smaller deer. This is what we got here, and we just love hunting here because you know, it's all spot and stalk hunting. It's just about as pure whitetail hunting as you can get, and as you saw earlier in this episode, it's about as frustrating as whitetail hunting as you can get. We've been on a lot of deer this year, and just, you know, hasn't worked out for one reason or another. And had a lot of trail cam pics of this guy, and, you know, definitely one of our target bucks this year. And finally got it done. Not out in the wilderness or anything. It was funny, you know, we've been hunting, there's a big property we're hunting here, and these bucks have been kind of all over it. We've got quite a few trail cams out, and we've seen him for about 3 or 4 days now, right here in the feedlot area, and there's been quite a few does in here. They've been chasing hard in here. There's another good buck in here, and we figured, well, what the heck, let's go hunt right beside the rancher's house, and he didn't have a problem with it. So, and caught this guy just out in the open this morning. And my big goal this year was to shoot a whitetail with the 223. This is the first year that 22 cal center fires are legal for big game in Alberta. And I know there's been a lot of controversy about it. And I just wanted to do it and see what all the fuss was about. And there really wasn't any fuss, as you saw. Hit him perfectly, just a good lung shot, about 250 yards. He ran, I don't know, 50 or 60 yards and piled up just like you would have with any other caliber. So yeah, I'm almost a little bit speechless here. I mean, I've shot probably 50 deer bigger than this one, but to do it with the 223, that was brand new. To track it with our little star here, hey Willow, yeah, your first tracking job, you did really, really well. She was amazing. She just went right to that deer. So pretty special deer for me. He'll definitely go on the wall and create a lot of memories. But Willow says, let's get this deer home, get him hung. We got more deer to hunt. So thanks for joining us on Outdoor Quest TV. Now, I was 100% certain going into the season that the 223 was more than capable of taking a whitetail buck here in Alberta. But when we butchered the whitetail, I was shocked at how much damage this tiny bullet did. You know, I get a complete pass through even though I hit the humerus on the far side. If you're thinking about using a 22 cal for big game in Alberta, make sure you use a quality big game bullet. You know, varmint bullets just won't cut it. They expand too rapidly and you're not going to get the penetration you need. The other thing is limit your range. This was going to be a one and done for me, but I had so much fun doing it. I think you'll probably see me out in Alberta next year packing the 223 for whitetails as well. Outdoor Quest TV is also brought to you by these fine sponsors.